PlayStation has launched 4K streaming on the PS5 and it looks amazing and works incredibly well. We recently launched a gameplay comparison video comparing Fortnite gameplay on the PS5 versus the GeForce Now Ultimate tier, and the quality is outstanding on both. Our final thoughts on PS5 streaming is yet to be determined, but Sony has really outdone themselves with this, especially with the fact that they now have the option to stream many games that you already own, and not just the games part of the PS Plus lineup. So why isn't this available for the PS4 or other devices like PC or mobile? Many people have had this question because why not have streaming available for as many users as possible? And initially, you might say greed. Well, yes and no. Now let's start with the PS4 first. There are two reasons why 4K streaming isn't available for the PS4, and they're all hardware related. First, a quality stream depends on your connection. Cloud gaming prefers a 5 GHz Wi-Fi connection for more stable video streams. Not all PS4 units support 5 GHz Wi-Fi. The PS4 Slim and Pro do, but the original does not. This would cause various connection problems for those looking to stream without issues. Now the second reason is that the original PS4 doesn't support 4K streaming at all. The PS4 Pro does support 4K streams,
with 4K streaming and 4K upscaling for video content. PS4 Pro supports both dynamic and native 4K outputs.
but I would bet that the GPU might be on the cusp of streaming 4K streams effectively. The PS4 Pro GPU is about equivalent to a GTX 1060, and since Nvidia requires this as a minimum for their 4K streams, I would bet Sony decided to leave out the PS4 Pro to avoid support issues just to be certain. The PS5 supports 5 GHz Wi-Fi and can decode 4K streams with no problem. Now the other question is, why isn't this available to other devices, especially PC? This is where the greed comes in. Let me explain. Now according to InsiderGaming.com, they're expanding to reach 28 data centers hitting 15 metropolitan areas. Now I believe this is much larger since their country list is bigger than this. More on that in a second. Now, contrary to what was reported in the past, I really believe that they are using Amazon Web Services for the majority of their PS5 cloud streaming instead of Microsoft for two reasons. First, if you take a look at all the countries they support in their blog, every single one of these countries are supported on AWS, and not all of them on Microsoft Azure. Now the second reason is that Sony is still hiring for cloud engineers. Glassdoor.com has a recent listing for a cloud engineer that specializes in AWS, and maybe a couple other various cloud platforms. Now I mentioned these two reasons because AWS is the world's biggest cloud infrastructure. They can support so many people on so many different devices, including playing on PC and mobile easily. So why wouldn't they? Going this route would take people away from the PlayStation ecosystem. No need for a PlayStation, no need to buy PlayStation controllers, no need to buy that silly handheld PlayStation Portal, previously known as Project Q, to in turn have people play on their own devices to stream games on cloud platforms Sony doesn't own. Now if you take a look at it, it's kind of demoralizing to be honest with you. A gaming giant with plenty of fans that's getting reduced to a streaming service? That's kind of insulting. Plus, now you won't have to buy their stuff other than a subscription. If they went this route, PlayStation would be Stadia, just with a much bigger customer base and with exclusives people actually want to play. So to counter this, they want you to still buy their hardware to keep you in their ecosystem. I actually see them requiring you to use a PlayStation controller in order for you to play on their streaming service down the line. This is the reason why they pulled God of War from GeForce Now. You have to be in their ecosystem to get access to stream their exclusives. Will they crack down on other streaming services? You know who I'm talking about. Who knows? Maybe once streaming gets more popular. We'll have to see. But for now, we'll have to enjoy streaming on the PS5. Now I do see Microsoft doing the exact same thing, especially since the Activision deal is done. No one's looking over their shoulder, if you know what I mean. I see an introduction to a standalone service sometime next year to prepare people for the hybrid console that got unveiled. I'll have a video on what I think that'll look like coming soon. So if you like my thoughts on the PS5 streaming situation, give us a like. Also, make sure to join as a member of the channel, or join our Patreon and our Discord in the links below. And thanks to all who support us. And above all else, make sure to subscribe to keep it locked right here, at the only place where you can do battle in gaming heaven, Cloud Gaming Battle. This is the Black Knight. I wouldn't be surprised if PlayStation streaming access would be exclusive to Sony TVs.